Hello, Dr. Nikhil.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Good
Uh,
morning, sir.
okay, sir. Almost good morning, sir. More than 65 participants have already joined. So let us start the
Great,
session
sir.
if you allow.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm
Okay,
ready, sir.
participants,
Please go ahead.
let us start the session. For this session also, we have Dr. Nikhil. Yesterday, he discussed about the LabVIEW-based approach to data transfer in real time on a cloud. So today he'll be discussing on machine learning using Fuzzy Designer. So I welcome you, Dr. Nikhil, to this session. And now it is up to you. Please
Thank,
start the session. I request you to
thank you
start the
very much,
session.
sir. Thank you very much, sir. And I hope that yesterday the session that we took, the participants have downloaded the software and installed it because today also we will be using the same. And I would ask before starting, did you practice the things that we had discussed yesterday, or somebody did it? I still hope the participants are able to hear me. I'll keep on bothering you today also. I hope you won't mind. So kindly just reply back if anybody has done something yesterday on the topic that we had worked out.
Anybody can unmute and respond.
Right, right. Thank you, sir. Still looking for some answers. Okay, so you don't want to reply in that case, right? Is that so? If it is the case, then it will be very difficult today. Nevertheless, sir is also requesting you can switch on your mic, so you have got the privilege to switch on your mics and talk to me. In any case, today we will be talking about the concept of using machine learning with Fuzzy System Designer. I hope you are able to see my screen. Uh, is it visible?
Yes, it is. It is visible.
Yeah, it is visible.
Right, right. Thank you very much. Great. So the topic for today is machine learning using Fuzzy System Designer, and I don't know how many of you are using or are knowing the concept of fuzzy logic, but for those who are not knowing it and for those who are not aware about these things, what I can do is what I'll do is I'll start from the very beginning so that everybody understands what I'm trying to say, and then we are able to make good use of this knowledge to design a system, right? So today we will be designing a very complex system in the form of greenhouse structure, right? So I hope that you will enjoy this session and you will do it side by side if possible. Again, that is why I was asking that just let me know if somebody has just worked on the yesterday's part, so it would be easier for the student to work on those things. Nevertheless, uh, he chose not to reply back. So today we are talking about the concept of the fuzzy system designer, and we will be referring to fuzzy logic based systems, right? So when we are talking about fuzzy logic based systems, we are referring to a logic which is more than capable of solving problems other than the binary structures also, right? So we have already known that the binary part system deals with zeros and ones, right? So we are talking about a logic structure which deals with 0.1, 0.2, right? Or 0.6. or say 0.75 and any other fractional number, right? So we are referring to this kind of a structure. So I hope that you will be making sure that you get the things, and wherever you have any problems, you can just switch on your mics and talk to me directly, right? I would request you to kindly do so. So we'll be starting with the introduction part, the different motivation factors behind learning these fuzzy systems and why we are using them, the objectives. I'll show you the basic block diagram that we will be targeting, and then we will be designing it on our own, right? Similarly, I'll show you some literature that is available for all of you to read and to make sure that you understand what we are talking about, right? So the fuzzy logic based system basically can be categorized using depicting this particular model. What we have is we have a knowledge base out of which we can formulate two things: the rule base and the database, right? So yesterday also we were talking about gathering of the data, storing it onto the cloud. Now that data is very, very important. Again, I repeat, all the leading companies are worried about the data only, right? Even you have heard about so many things of data breach and somebody has access to the information. Everybody is running after this particular thing called as data. Very important, right? And the person who knows how to use this information effectively is one of the or is and will be always a leading required person everywhere, right? So if you can manipulate data, if you can work with that, that is the best part right now, right? So what this fuzzy logic based system would talk about, it would talk about three different things: fuzzification, inference engine, and then defuzzification module, right? So I'll just briefly highlight this thing, that what we do, we provide an input to the fuzzification module. The fuzzification module fuzzifies. Now this is a new term, fuzzification, right? Fuzzifies, I'll tell you how it does that, and we will practically fuzzify these inputs, right? Then the inference engine comes into picture. It performs some manipulations on the input data received, and then a reverse of fuzzification module is done, that is defuzzification. Ultimately, you get a crisp output, right? Output which is called as crisp. So we are actually talking about using of mathematical functions of set theory, right? So everybody has read this sets, right? Set theory and other concepts. So very simple. So we will be using that particular thing, and then we will be trying to describe the structure, right? So this particular thing can be utilized, or can be just given in the form of this fuzzy logic controller. This is what we want to design, right? So aim is to design a fuzzy logic controller. Today's aim, right? And how we will be doing it? We will be using this knowledge base to our benefit, right? Whatever knowledge we have, and I'll take it from you people also, right? So I told you that we will have a fuzzifier which will be given some inputs, right? The inference engine will perform some manipulations over the inputs received, and then the reverse of the fuzzification part is done, that is the fuzzifier. The output is received. Now it doesn't end here. This output is given as a feedback to the control system. This control system then gives it back. So this is a closed loop structure, right? I hope everybody has knowledge about this. So you can very well read these things, and we can definitely see the outputs at both the ends and compare them also, right? So this is the best part that anybody can do as far as these systems are concerned, and they are very, very reliable systems. So we have been using this fuzzy logic from very old days now, almost 30, 40 years back. This concept was evolved. Zadeh, if you remember the name, most of you must have read either his book or the papers that you normally read, right? So he had the lab develop this concept, and he gave this concept, right? So what we are talking about is we're talking about the fuzzification module. Fuzzification, as I told you, is a process, and we will be using it. So what the process talks about in simple terms, it talks about mapping input values in crisp sets, right? So again, I told you that we will be talking about the set theory. So the input values are mapped into crisp sets to values in fuzzy sets, right? So fuzzification basically performs this kind of an action. The fuzzy sets are generated out of it, and then the next process is followed using this knowledge base. Now, knowledge base is basically divided into two halves: this rule base and database. So, database basically is something that we always keep on increasing and improving each day. It provides different types of definitions or linguistic controls, I should say. Say, for example, I say today's weather is very cold, right? So, normally when I say this term cold, everybody can relate the thing that we would require some woolen clothes to wear, right? Or we require something hot. Play. So hot or cold, these are some linguistic functions. Now, how the machine would understand these linguistic functions is one of the important aspects of fuzzy logic based systems, and how data can be manipulated using these values. So for somebody, a 20 degree centigrade temperature will not be that cold, right? For somebody who's staying in very south, 20 degrees is a cold temperature, right? So people staying in north, 20 degrees is a normal temperature because we are used to these conditions, right? So it can be cold for somebody, it can be hot for somebody, it can be moderate temperature for somebody. So how does the machine distinguishes, and how does machine help in this kind of a scenario? This is what we need to understand. And here, when you see so many situations coming into picture, then you realize that this particular concept is something which is to be worked about, right? And fuzzy logic provides a wonderful solution to all these problems, right? Then comes the rule base. Rule base is we try and find out certain aspects out of the given information and then formulate some rules. Again, in the form of binary logic only, but how these rules are done, again in linguistic fashion. If temperature is today is cold, then what happens? Then say if then else, right? If then will be the structural thing that we will be utilizing. So remember this term, if then, right? So if the condition is this, then what happens, right? So we have certain things, we know these things, and we can use them to our advantage also. Now, the point is that we must always understand the basic phenomena of how to utilize these things effectively, because data is definitely available with everybody, right? Now, this data is the one that we normally want to use and manipulate according to what we want, right? So, sir, I hope my voice is still coming clear to everybody. Just needed to check. Is my voice audible to everybody?
Yes, yes, it is audible.
Great, sir. Great, sir. Great, sir. Thank you very much. So, in this case, if we talk about the rule base and the other phenomena, we are talking about using of domain expert, right? So, this domain expert comes into picture. Now, this is the important job that everybody wants these days: data analysts, right? Or somebody who can play with the data available and understands that information completely, right? So yes, we are talking about this thing, control policy of a domain expert, where linguistic rules can be played with, right? So we will be doing it today. I'll be showing you practically how to do it. The next important part over here is the inference engine. Now this is something that is inside the structure and manipulates the data that you have created, right? So this is just as a human brain. So whatever information is received, the decision-making capability is with the inference engine. So it performs the decision-making structure for everybody, and then manipulates the data accordingly, right? So as a human brain does, so based on the inputs received from the fuzzy file and the set of control rules that it has, inference engine aggregates, right? So this is the word. It aggregates the output to form the various rules, whatever rules are there, and then which rules have fired into the fuzzy set. We will see how what is this firing and what rules are used, right? So once the rules are fired, the last process is performing the reverse operation of the fuzzification, that is the defuzzification module. Now, the module performs what? It performs some following actions. A scale mapping is used which converts the range of values of output variables into corresponding universe of discourse, and the defuzzification is basically the reverse process of fuzzification. So it is transforming what? Fuzzy outputs into crisp outputs. Earlier we had the crisp sets converted into fuzzy sets, right? So this is what I told you. Now this is the reverse operation. Fuzzy outputs into crisp outputs, and that is what I wrote in the block diagram. You will be getting the crisp output for your purpose. Right? I hope you have followed till this point, and if there is no doubt, I'll just move ahead. So what are the different defuzzification techniques that you have? So different defuzzification techniques are center of gravity or center of area. We have center of sounds. We have height of defuzzification, center of largest area, and min max approach. Right. So these are the different fuzzification techniques that are utilized and that are used. I still hope that you are following this thing. There is no problem up till here. Anything you want to ask? So these are all mathematical functions. I'm still waiting for some replies. I don't know why today you are so silent enough. So you can talk to me. There's no problem. I think so.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Right. So that's good to hear some voices coming in. So this is
Actually, they
basically
are
the
writing in
function.
the chat box. They are responding in the chat box. They are
Okay, so
writing
I'm
yes,
not able to see the chat box
yes,
because
yes,
my screen shows the PowerPoint presentation only, right? So I would
yes,
request
yes.
them to kindly switch on their mics, right? So that will be
You
great.
please unmute and respond, participants. You unmute and respond.
Right. So functional view of a fuzzy system talks about this kind of a scenario. If you can see it over here. Right. So what we have is we have fuzzy inputs where fuzzy operators are applied, and then implication method is applied. We aggregate all the outputs received from the fuzzy structure, and ultimately we defuzzify and we get a crisp output out of this. So this is the flow chart. Very simple. There is nothing hussy-buzzy about it. So you can all understand. So fuzzify the inputs, implicate the things, and then defuzzify the system to produce a crisp output. So this is the basic functional idea behind the fuzzy systems, right? So now what needs to be exactly done in this case? Now this is the block diagram. Now this is the scenario, a greenhouse structure, right? So I'll try and explain this structure to all of you, and then we'll understand from your side how to work about this, right? I hope everybody knows what a greenhouse is. So I need some answers from you. Can anybody just describe what a greenhouse structure for that particular person is? Because you have heard about this thing. Anybody you can talk about a system of greenhouse? Anyone who can just give it in one line, or should I go to chat box to see the thing? A greenhouse structure. Okay, nobody is still answering the things. So I think the first lecture was has hampered your.
No idea, actually. No idea.
Okay, no idea. Okay. I thought everybody must be knowing it. Nevertheless, okay, I'll just introduce this to you. So the greenhouse basically is a closed, enclosed environment, right? Again, I'll write it over here. It is an enclosed environment where you are doing what? Where you grow plants, right? So structure a man-made structure, enclosed structure, where growth of plants is basically the aim for us to, and we provided a certain kind of environment where the plants can grow very effectively, right? So I hope you have understood that, and you have seen this around your. I hope you followed this now, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
Right. Thank you very much. So, for this particular aspect, many theories have come how this greenhouse can be very effective. Say, for example, you are staying in a particular location and you want to grow mushrooms over there, and it is not conducible to grow mushrooms at that point, right? So, what you need to do? You need to create an artificial environment to make sure that the mushrooms are growing or any crop is growing, right? So for that particular purpose, a greenhouse is the one that comes into picture and helps or provides the solution for this particular aspect. And this is what we are looking forward for designing today, right? So greenhouse is a very complex system, very complex system, because it is dealing with growth of plants, right? So even if there is a slight change in weather conditions, the plants can the growth of plants can be hampered, or you can lose the entire crop, right? So what are the inputs that this particular greenhouse would require, right? So I'll talk about all these aspects, and then I'll work on this particular so the inputs that we require are not only temperature, right? So I hope everybody would agree with this temperature, and I can write humidity also. And one more thing that I can add here is solar radiation. So we will take these three inputs, right? And we have selected them because these three are basically responsible for the growth of plants. I hope everybody agrees with this. So conducible temperature, humidity, and solar radiation will help good growth of the plant. Everybody would agree, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Right. So these are the inputs for this particular greenhouse. Now these inputs are basically sensed by some sensors that are placed over here. They sense the information and they give it as an input to the fuzzy system designer. Fuzzy system designer, right? So the very first thing that a fuzzy system designer should do is fuzzify these inputs, implicate in certain rules. That is, if this is this and this is this and this is this, then what is the output, right? And ultimately defuzzifies it to produce the crisp output. I hope you have followed the problem and how we are dealing, why we are dealing with this. Is it okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Great. Now to make sure that these three factors are basically in control, we have already established that we will raise a greenhouse structure, an artificial environment where the plants can be grown and produce can be enhanced. So based on this, the fuzzy system design, what is the output that should be controlled basically, right? So we are talking about these. So we have some actuators which have to be controlled. The actuators are what? So these actuators are what? They are basically, see, the roof of this particular greenhouse can be opened and closed for the solar radiation to come or the air to flow in, right? So roof, top, and the water sprinkler. These are two important things that are used in a greenhouse structure, and they will actually be controlled by, automatically be controlled by this fuzzy system designer that we are trying to design today, right? Is it okay now? Have you understood the problem?
Yes.
Right. So what we are doing is we are trying to use the fuzzy logic for solving this complex scenario of greenhouse structure, where we'll talk about temperature, humidity, and solar radiation as the inputs, and two outputs that have to be controlled, that is water sprinkler and the positioning of the roof. Right. I hope you have understood this and you have followed this. Now we will be using again LabVIEW today to design this fuzzy system designer. We will be replacing the conventional on-off controller, right? Now I'll tell you that in greenhouse structures, normally there are people who control it, go with on-off controllers, and then the roof moves or the water sprinkler starts, right? So we are replacing it and we are automating the process using AI. Now yesterday people were asking what is difference between machine learning and AI. Now I'm trying to give you that, right? So we are implementing the technique, right? The artificial intelligence is being given to machine, where we are referring to fuzzy system structure. So fuzzy is one of the techniques, right? So again, greenhouse is what? It is basically a structure, enclosed structure to design, to basically design to increase the growth of the plants, right? Many parameters I've already talked about: light intensity for photosynthesis, temperature for the growth of proper growth of enzymes, right? Similarly, humidity, the amount of carbon dioxide required, air movement, water and nutrients. So all these are factors. How you can control it? Because we have already enclosed it inside a particular structure. So that is referred to as a greenhouse, right? So why we are doing it? Because we want to resolve or we want to replace the on-off system with an automated structure. This is a highly non-linear structure, very complex problem, right? I'll tell you, very complex in nature, because we're dealing with something living in our sense, right? So it is very highly complex, and we want to replace and help the farmers to grow or to make sure that they produce good output, right? So we are using a fuzzy logic controller for this particular purpose, right? So what fuzzy logic basically, again, just a simple aspect that it is a superset of conventional Boolean logic. I've already told you, right? The Boolean logic was referring to zeros and ones, but fuzzy logic would refer to intermediate values also. If, for example, again, partial truth, right? Either, so this is called as false and this is called as true, right? Everybody knows this. But partially true and partially false, completely true and completely false, we understand. But what about partial truth and partial false, right? So now this is the problem. So this is basically why we are referring these fuzzy systems, and they are very good in entertaining all these types of issues, right? So I hope that you will enjoy making these, right? So I've already told you that we are dealing with linguistic variables as far as fuzzy logic is concerned, and these linguistic variables are very simple. Say, for example, in temperature, I talk about freezing, cold, warm, and hot. We will talk about in these terms only, and you'll see that machine would understand this, right? So this is the beauty about the system. Like speed is slow, normal, fast. So you can talk linguistic fashions, and rules will also be made in linguistic fashion only, right? Right. So what are the rules? Again, I told you if then. So if current temperature is cold and desired temperature is moderate, then heater settings should be low. Normal talk that we do, or we discuss among each other. Said that today is very hot. So what do you want? We require an air conditioner, or we require a fan, right? So today is very cold. So what we require? We require this thing. Then this should be the output, right? So we are talking about these functions, and in the very beginning, I told you how cool is 36 degree Fahrenheit. So somebody says it is 30% cool, 70% freezing. Now it can vary, right? So because the people staying in some areas are talking about that 36 degree Fahrenheit, it is very cold. Somebody says it is very freezing. Somebody says no, it is a very moderate temperature, right? So now, how to distinguish, how to make sure that these things come into picture. So we draw this kind of a system, right? We draw these kind of systems, and then the outputs of this particular structure are selected according to the values that you have given, or according to the rule base that you have formulated, right? So we will be trying to design this structure. Now what I do is I'll straight away move to the LabVIEW part. I hope everybody has downloaded and installed this. I'm assuming this to everybody. Again, Control N would do what? Control N would do what? NVI. I hope everybody remembers that, right? Is it a very new topic for everybody?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So, thank you for answering Tejaswini ji for this particular purpose. But see, I'll make sure that it becomes very easy for you. Bonda ji is saying one example for greenhouse structure, shade net structure. Yes, shade nets, but sir, that is not a greenhouse. So there is a difference. Again, I repeat, greenhouse are very big farms, right? You normally see on roadsides, people have developed some nets and are growing some saplings, right? So that is a very small structure, but they are not controlling the rooftop because it is basically enclosed. Now, greenhouse is a there is a difference, right? So it is an automated structure where roofs can open, water sprinkler starts on its own, right? And several other parameters can also vary in that case, right? So see, don't confuse it with the normal shade nets that you see. That is not a greenhouse. Again, I repeat, greenhouse is a very big farm, right? And that too enclosed where roofs can move, right? So I'll just show you the picture or the image, right? If you see this structure, we'll be designing this kind of a structure. Now, if you're able to see this, uh, this is just a small picture of that. Now you see that these are made up of glass, and these glasses can open and close, right? To make sure that sunlight comes in or it is blocked. Similarly, these pipes that you see, these are the pipes over here. These are water sprinklers. Now, these water sprinklers spray the things onto the plant. This is a completely automated structure where on-off controllers are used, right?
Excuse me, sir.
We are trying to, yes, yes,
Is
ma'am.
there any are there any research papers related to this that LabVIEW
I'll just show you. I'll
implementation?
just show you about. I'll show you all those papers. But right now, I'm talking about the problem identification,
Okay.
right? So yes, there are many papers, ma'am. Many papers based on this, right?
Because
And people
LabVIEW
have.
implementation I have not seen. In MATLAB it was there, but LabVIEW implementation we have
Ma'am,
not seen.
there is no nothing much to differ in MATLAB and LabVIEW. Again, I repeat, MATLAB is good for those who love to code, right? But people like me who don't like coding prefer graphical programming, right? So
Okay. Is it
I'm using
like
a tool which is
easier than MATLAB? What do you think?
madam, again, it depends on my work only. Say if you are comfortable enough in writing the program. So again, I'll tell you, you can write a MATLAB code here also in LabVIEW. You can write it. I'll show you. Uh, right click onto this, and this is the formula node, or this is the math script. You can write your MATLAB code here. It will function according to as it functions in a MATLAB environment, right? Did you follow that?
Yes, yes, sir.
So if you're comfortable enough in writing MATLAB code, you can work on this also. There is no problem. But see,
No, no. Actually,
we
if
are
this is
preferring some
easier, rather
visual.
I want to learn this one as well. If this one is easier,
Okay. That is great, ma'am. That is great. So that is why I'm just showing this to you, because we are trying to use a graphical programming structure where we program the entire thing graphically only, right? So I'll practically show you all these things now. You have to generate a new VI for this, and then go to tools, right? Tools are at both places, so you can click on any window. Tools.
so can this be taken as a small BTech level project, or it's a very complicated for
Yes,
BTech
ma'am. Yes,
students?
ma'am. Even PhDs have been done on this,
Oh, okay, okay.
right? So
But
this is
is it? Do you
extensively.
think that it is difficult? It will be difficult for BTech students?
No. Ma'am, it is not difficult for anybody. I'll just show you how easy it would be, right? But it is not
Okay,
the
sir.
question of difficult and easy. The question is, if you have a problem, does this particular software help you design and simulate it, right? The best part of this software is, see, in MATLAB, you generate or simulate the environment, and then you require the Simulink to work with real-time systems. I hope you understand that, right?
Yes, yes. Okay.
So
Yes, sir.
in LabVIEW, you can directly interface a device directly with USB. right? So there are DAC cards available which are directly interfaced, and real-time data can be taken as an input,
Okay.
right? So this is the advantage. Now, if you've designed the system, it becomes very easy, right? So I'll just show you now. So what you need to do is just follow these steps. I'll just close this again, open this for you. So once you open LabVIEW, you click onto File, New VI, or even Control N would do, and Control T brings them together. Control T is the shortcut, front panel and block diagram. You can see them together, right? Tools, and then you go to Control Design and Simulation, right? Tools, Control Design and Simulation, then you go and click onto Fuzzy System Designer. Now this is the block, Fuzzy System Designer. I hope everybody is able to see this. So when I click onto this, you'll see something opening in front of you. Right. Now what you see over here is very interesting structure, variables, rules, and test system. Same thing is available in MATLAB also, I'll tell you, right? So we can work in both the environments, but you should know how to use it, how to work with it, right? So that is why I am talking about this thing today. Now Fuzzy System Designer will help you formulate the inputs and output variables, formulate the rules, and test the system, right? So simulation of the system can be done directly. So what you need to do here is add input. Now follow these steps. I'll do it very slowly for everybody, right? Add input variable, and you give it a name, temperature, right? So first input variable was temperature that we wanted to use, and I can use minus 10 degrees to say 60 degrees, right? But because minus 10 is not suitable for growth, but I'm still using this value, right? So temperature and OK. So you see temperature added as input variable. Similarly, the second input variable was what? Everybody can answer this. I think humidity, right? So I need some yes and no from your side. I think humidity. Everybody is available here.
Yes,
So.
yes, sir.
Right, humidity, and the third one was solar radiation that we had decided, right? And range again from 0 to say I can take 15,000. No, I'm taking this in lumen, right? So 15,000 lumens or even higher values can be taken, right? So this is just the range. So temperature, humidity, solar radiation, 3 inputs. And what were the output? Output variables were water, sprinkler. I hope everybody can answer this. Water sprinkler. Again, I can take a range from 0 to 100, that is opening and closing of the water taps, right? And similarly, roof, electric roof, right? Why I'm calling this electric roof? Because it is controlled by some actuators which is electrically controlled. So on-off controllers have to be replaced here. And I'm talking about the range of 0 to 100 again. This is just a rough idea. Now we have given the input variables and we have given the output variables, right? So I don't know whose mic is still on, but if you want to ask something, you're most welcome. Akshay Kumar ji, I think he's excellently switched it on. चलिए कोई बात नहीं. He's not willing to answer. Akshay Kumar ji, if you can switch off your mic, this disturbance would go fade away. So yes, thank you very much. So I would request everybody to participate in this. We have created the input and output, just given the input and output variables. Now there are DAC cards by which we could have given them directly or interfaced them directly, but right now we are taking these inputs. We're taking these inputs and we want to give them some
These
input variable.
parameters are already available in that worksheet, right? This temperature, humidity, solar
Yes,
radiation, keeping in
yes,
view of this greenhouse.
yes, yes. We have just selected them. There are more parameters. You can add further more inputs.
Okay.
Right, but these are some of the parameters that actually affect the growth of the plants to the highest. So we're trying to design a system with some complexes of temperature, humidity, solar radiation. I could have added carbon dioxide level also, CO2.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Right, so you can add the input variables, and you can remove them also if they are not actually bothering that particular plant growth. So we can remove that also. Nevertheless, we've taken these three, and two output variables that are actually used are water sprinkler and electric roof, right? So now the next part is you need to give them some membership functions. Now this is what is fuzzification, right? So membership functions, if you have to give some membership functions to things of temperature, like in the way we were talking in linguistic variables. I clicked down to add, and a membership function comes over to me. Membership function is nothing but if say temperature is freezing for me, in normal terms, freezing, right? So there are different shapes that I can decide for the membership function: triangular, trapezoidal, singleton, sigmoid, Gaussian, whatever you want to do, right? I just selected triangular function right now, and freezing means -10, 0, and say 10 degree for me, right? Just a rough idea, rough data. Okay, you got it?
Yes, sir. So these are
Right.
based on the
Similarly,
rules that you have selected. These are based on the rules that you
I
have
have not created. I
initially
have not
selected.
created any rules, ma'am. I'm just talking about what is the situation of the temperature right now. It is freezing, right? So what is the range
Okay.
of freezing temperature for me? So the range of freezing temperature is -10 to 10. Just
This
a
is
rough
again
idea here,
decided by
right?
you. This is decided by you only.
I am just deciding it. Otherwise, yes, because I am using the knowledge base that I have. Do you get this now?
Ah, yes.
I'm utilizing the knowledge base that I have. So I'm feeding the system with some inputs, right? So
Okay, okay.
similarly, I can add another membership function. Now it is cold for me. So what is the range of the cold? This time I can change the color to make sure that
Sir,
the lines look
excuse
different.
me, sir.
So yes, 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 please, ma'am.
Sir, can you please
Please go
repeat
ahead.
the utility of this membership function?
What you said, ma'am? I just couldn't follow that. Can you repeat?
Yeah, could you please explain this membership function? That what are the utilities means? Why we should include the terms as a membership?
Ma'am, because
Form?
see, because we are talking about some linguistic variables to be introduced. So either you could have given real-time data to the system, right? Or what you can do is you can talk about these membership functions where you describe what is the temperature, whether it is cold, whether it is normal, whether it is freezing, whether it is warm. So based on those inputs, your system would behave. Do you understand that now?
Yes, sir.
Right. So we are trying to give that input to the system. So one thing that we understood was freezing. Another thing that we understood was cold, and we have just used our database or our own knowledge to make sure that from -10 to 10 it is freezing for us, and from 5 to 25 it is cold temperature for us. So this must be cold for the plant also. Now do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Right. Similarly, you can add another membership function to this. This time I may use a Gaussian function to represent the thing. Just randomly I'm doing it. There is no scenario. Uh, Either I could have had the data also, but right now I'm doing it randomly, right? So Gaussian function to represent this thing. Now what I am doing here is what is the next thing? Cold and freezing I've done. So I use moderate temperature, right? So moderate temperature, yes, it can be say 22 degrees or 22.5 degrees. I take some value over here, right? So I should erase all these first, and it will allow me to take the values. Right. So I can start from the back. So moderate temperature say would range till 35, say 30 over here. As again change 35, right? and say 25 for me and 20, right? Or even I can move this right now over here, right? Just to make sure that now you see there are so many values over here. So we can change them, we can type them. So moderate temperature, and lastly it is warm. So I use warm. Warm again, I can change the color over here. And then what is warm for me? So maybe it is 60 degrees and say 45 degrees. And say it coincides with 35 also, right? Or even I can move it further here. Now, do you understand what we have done? We have given the temperature some of its membership functions such as freezing, cold, moderate, and warm. Is it okay? Any problem still here?
Sir, your slides is not coming, sir.
Sir, your screen is
Yeah, I
freeze.
hope
We
so.
can't see that.
Any
Whatever you
problem
are
still here?
selected,
Your screen is not visible, sir.
it is freezed. Whatever you are selected, now warm
It
and
is
all,
actually.
we can't see that.
Shall I move to the chat box? Sir, I hope my voice is coming. And any problem still here?
Sir, your screen is not visible.
Sir, your screen is not changing. As you are scrolling down or doing something, now it's not able. We are not able to see that. It's freeze to one position only. Where you have selected Gaussian function, it is showing that only continuously.
Sir, is my voice audible to all of you?
Voice is clear, sir, but whatever you are presenting, we can't see that.
Sir, is my voice coming?
Sir, voice is coming, but that tool is not working.
Please wait for a minute. Sir will be joining soon. I think he has some technical issues at his end.
So I'm sorry, sir, I got disconnected and I cut your phone also because I understood that there is some problem happening. Are you able to hear me, sir?
Yes, yes. Now you're audible. At that
Right, sir.
time
Sorry
you
for
were
this.
audible, but your means your presentation was not visible. So
Right, sir. Right, sir. No
you can
problem,
start
sir.
presenting again.
Okay. Again, I'll do that, sir.
Yes, yes,
So is it coming now, sir?
yes, yes. It is coming now.
Right. So, friends, I hope I had explained till this point and you understood what we have done. The temperature part has been given as freezing, cold, moderate, and warm. This is just the linguistic value that we have been talking about, right? Is it okay? Shall I move ahead?
Yes,
Or I
sir.
still hold? Yes. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Thank you very
yes.
much.
Yes,
Thank you.
sir.
Thank you. Thank you. So next is the next value or the next parameter variable is humidity, right? Now humidity has a huge role to play in the growth of the plants. So again, some membership functions need to be given for humidity also. Now humidity can be high, low, and medium, right? Whatever you can talk in normal terms, right? So say humidity is high for me. I'll just write high. High in this case, and say 80 is very high in humidity, right? So 60 and say 45, right? Now I can increase this also over here. I can change this value by just moving the cursor, right? I'm doing it by moving the cursor. I hope you're understanding this, right? So high humidity, and if you want, you can change the curve also. I can make trapezoidal, I can make singleton, right? Whatever you want, or even user defined. So let's keep it in this case as trapezoidal, and we'll just move it, right? So this is just a random data on the basis of which I have decided that from this range to this range, the humidity is treated as high for me, right? Similarly, humidity is moderate or medium. I can say medium humidity, and I can again change the color over here to make sure that the humidity is medium. So talks about 30, 50, and 60 for me, right? So if you still want, you can move it around to make sure that this is the rough
Sir,
idea
I
that I
think
am having.
again your screen is freezed. Sir, excuse me, sir. I think again your
Uh,
screen is freezed.
is it not visible, ma'am?
No, means you change
I'll just share it
that
again.
humidity,
I'll
na?
just share it again. I'll just share it again. Is it visible now? Is it visible now?
Ah, sir,
Yes,
now
sir,
it's
it is.
visible.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you.
So what we have done over here is if you see, I've taken humidity as high and medium and even low. Low humidity can also be taken, right? I'll just use another color for this. We start from 0 to 15, and say to 25 for me, right? Uh, I can use this. So it cannot be basically 0 at one point, so I'm not taking that value. So I've taken three inputs for humidity as high, medium, and low. You can see with different colors. So temperature and humidity have been given some values over here. Now solar radiation is the one that we need to work about, right? So solar radiation. So what is solar radiation over here? Again, to click onto this solar radiation, dark, medium, and light, right? So I take the variables, dark, medium, and light. So what is the range of dark for me? Dark can be 0 to 3000 lumens to say 5000 lumens, right? So in this as dark. So enough sunlight is coming, right? Similarly, medium or moderate sunlight is coming. I can use any terms, moderate, and again, I can make some color changes over here. Rather than typing, I can move this also. It can be a little faster for me, right? So I have taken this range as moderate for me, and then add another one to create high. So say I again set a Gaussian function. Select this color over here. right? So this is high range for me. Yes, just a random value again. I hope you followed this. So temperature, humidity, and solar radiation, according to our own knowledge, we have given it some input membership functions according to what we understood, right? Is there any problem till here? Okay,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
great. So similarly, we have water sprinkler. Again, we need to identify this particular water sprinkler. So water sprinkler means the nozzle should be open or closed or semi-closed, right? So we are talking about open wall over here. Open means that there should be some value related to 100, say 80. Okay, it has moved to 79, no problems at all, and 60 is open, right? So this particular range is open for me. Then semi-closed, right? So this is another term that we can use over here, semi-closed. Say 30, 50, 70 can be treated as semi-closed also, no problems, right? And closed, right? So closed, I can take a sigmoid function or even a singleton function over here. That would be good, right? So right, so this is a closed function, and I can change the value of semi-closed to this point, right? I'm just doing it randomly, just to see how my system would behave if these are the inputs, right? I'm just changing them accordingly. So is it okay for you?
Yes, sir.
Similarly, electric roof again, there are parameters as open. Again, same thing. In normal terms, we talk about that open, closed, semi-closed, right? Open means the roof is open for us, and I treat this as open, right? And I can change it to Gaussian function for semi-closed. Again, I've used this term semi-closed, right? And let's move it around. Right, so this is basically treated as semi-closed, and then the roof is closed, right? So let's take a triangular function for this 0 and 25. Though it is not perfectly closed over here, but I'm just treating it as closed for me. Still some sunlight, still some kind of sunlight would come, right? So we have given the membership functions to all these input and output variables. So this is the main part that we needed to do. Now, if you've understood, I can move to the next step. The next step is very interesting, right? Now here AI, artificial intelligence, would come into picture because the complete data is there. Database has been utilized. Now I told you that we have to implicate these things, right? So rule base has to be created. One way to create a rule base is click onto this add, and it says if temperature is freezing, water sprinkler is open, right? So you can change this rule to water sprinkler is closed. But where are the other antecedents? So you have to add them, right? Add them as if humidity is high, let's say humidity is low over here, and solar radiation is dark, or say solar radiation is moderate. Then what are the consequences, right? So this is how you make rules. Again, it is being done by you people, right? Your intelligence. Now we don't want our intelligence to come into picture every time. You can create n number of rules, right? Clicking on to add, you can create n number of rules. But I don't want this thing. In this case, I delete all the rules, but I want the system intelligence now to come into picture according to the data that I've given it. So the best part is go to operate. click on to pre-generate all rules. Now, this is the phenomena, pre-generate all the rules. And when you click on to pre-generate all the rules, you will be shown that 36 rules can be generated for 3 input variables that you have given, right? And what are the antecedents you want to use? That is and, minimum, and product, or maximum, or probabilistic. So I just select and minimum. Degree of support is 1, and you want consequent implication as minimum or product. I select minimum, and only thing I need to do is I need to click OK. All the rules, 36 possible rules according to the inputs that we get given, have been created. I hope you are able to see them. Is it okay? Right? No, yes, no, no. You followed
Yes,
this?
yes.
Right. So I hope that this is the easiest part, because you have to just click on to operate and pre-generate all the rules, right? All the rules have been generated. So you can click onto the rules and see what is the implication and how these rules are functioning, right? And what is the condition. So you can change them also according to what you want, right? But these are pre-generated rules. Is it okay now? Right? Shall I move ahead? Right.
Yes,
Now
sir.
the
Yes,
next
sir.
part is defuzzification method. So defuzzification method, I told you there are 5 methods that we can use, and the center of area, modify center of area, center of sums, maximum, and mean of maximum, right? So you can select either of these, again based on your own input and the data, the knowledge base that you have. So I am selecting center of area right now. The next part I need to do is move to this test system, and when I move to this test system, you will see that the 3 inputs and 2 output variables are shown over here, and you have the input variables and output variables over here, right? So how this thing would change, I'll just show you, right? So you're able to see the output part changing according to what we want. Are you able to see that?
Yes. Yes, yes.
And in the lower half, you are able to see the fired rules, right? The rules which are fired according to the input values given. So you can change that, this output also, and you will see some values changing accordingly, right? Now this is the automated process. Is it okay?
So there is something weight is also coming. Weight.
Yes, yes. So it has computed the weight
What?
according to the input that you had given in the rule, center of area.
Okay, that is automatically generated, right?
That is automatically generated now. Right?
Yes, sir.
I hope you followed this.
Okay. Actually, output variable is electric roof. So how it is interpreted from that
It can be
output
changed
graph?
with it can be changed with water sprinkler also. You see the value changing over here. Right?
What? Means I could not interpret actually how the graph indicates water sprinkler or rooftop like that.
See, if temperature is 20 degrees and humidity is 65 degrees, then the water sprinkler output according to the rules that we have created should be at this point. Now this is being done automatically. I'm not controlling it. Now do you understand that?
Okay.
Right. So if temperature is and solar radiation is this, then what is the value of the electric group? It is this. It will keep on changing. You see the value changing over here, right?
Okay.
And rules getting fired. Now, if you want to change something, you can go to a particular rule and
The water
change
roof
it.
is 80. So please, previous one. Previous.
Yes,
that,
yes,
we
yes,
did.
yes. Please go ahead. This one.
Here,
Right?
as it is indicating electric roof is 80. What does it mean? Electric roof,
Ma'am,
that
because
value is indicating is
yeah,
around
please see,
80,
see
more
here,
than little bit.
see here, see here. Here, we had given that electric roof 80 means
That means
this
percentage of
value.
opening.
Yes, yes, yes. It is percentage of opening.
Okay, okay.
Right?
Similarly,
Now
water
see.
sprinkler is percentage of sprinkling,
Percentage of
means,
opening
quantity of
because
water.
we have given it. Yeah, quantity of
Okay,
water, if it has to be, the valve has to be open or closed.
okay, okay, okay. Thank
Right.
you.
Right. I hope you got it now. Is it okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right. Now I can use this entire information into the system and generate a system. Right now, what I have done for you people is I have created this particular structure for you. Now we have created this fuzzy controller because there are 4 seasons: spring, monsoon, winter, and summer. Right? We are talking about that. Before that, I can show you another example of similar sorts where I will control
You
it,
have
and here in
put
real
a
time this
greenhouse
will be.
image of, sir, you put a greenhouse image over there in your
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
VI.
There is a greenhouse image. Just to show it, this image has nothing to do with anything.
But it gives a
This image,
good representation.
so this can be easily done in LabVIEW. That is why we are using this software, right?
Okay, these images are already there, or you are importing it from some
No, no,
other
no.
source?
I've just taken it from Google, ma'am. I've just taken it from Google. You can take any other image also, no problem.
Oh,
I've just
any image can be imported and can be put here,
any image
right?
can be done. Any image can be used now.
Okay. Okay.
Right. Now you see, I'll show you the implementation of the same thing that we have designed, right? So when I run this, just have a look. The temperature and humidity, right? I'm varying these two. I hope you're able to see the variation in the output.
Yes.
Are you able
Yes.
to
Yes.
see? Are you able to see that?
Yes. Yes.
As I'm
Yes,
raising
sir.
the humidity, the water spills have to go low and they are behaving in similar fashion. If I increase the temperature, the electric roof opens and water spill also increase. If I decrease the temperature, right? So they are behaving in this fashion. Now this was spring season. Now they say the season changed to summer. And in summer season, the temperature falls. Then what happens? Right. So we're talking about some extreme conditions over here. So the output is behaving accordingly, right? I hope you're able to see this.
Yes, sir.
I can change it to winter seasons. Temperature goes very low. Humidity is still high. Then what happens? Right? Or humidity also goes low. Then what happens? Right? So you can all see this. In winter, say suddenly temperature crosses 20 degrees. So it is very high for that. So plant growth can be hampered. So if this is hampered, electric roof and water spills will play their part in this. I hope you have followed this. You have understood what I'm trying to say. Any problems here?
No, sir, it is fine.
Great. Now see, similar thing can be done with a real-time system. The third input was missing there, this solar radiation. I've just taken it here. Now when I run this, now I've just used a structure which is giving input from my fan, the fan over there, right? The humidity, temperature. You can see the variation happening as they are moving, and this is the output recorded, right? So this can be continuous monitoring of the greenhouse structure. As soon as there is a variation in the output, you see electric roof being open and closed, and this is the output received, right? So water sprinkler also on and off. So complete structure is being recorded over here, and you can work with it, right? I hope you have understood and followed this. Now, both the things can be done in real time. Is it okay? I hope you have followed this. Everybody, I'm asking all of you.
Yes, sir.
Any doubts? So my today's aim was to give you a complete hands-on on this particular structure so that you people understand the importance of what we are trying to do. So this is one of the easy part in fuzzy systems and fuzzy system designing, right?
The difficult part is
So I just
setting up the
quickly,
rules, I think. Setting up the rules.
pardon me?
Once we have the rules, difficult part is the setting of the rules. If we have the rules with us, then we can come up with this.
Yes, yes, yes. So that is the main part. Data, why data is important. I showed you this. So whosoever is controlling this information or whosoever is having the data is the leader, right? These days. So somebody was asking about the publications and the papers, right? So I'm showing you a few papers. One of these papers is by N. Wang et al., right? So he had shown this kind of a concept over here. I still hope my screen is visible, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. So if you see how interestingly these systems have been integrated together. So this is a wireless sensor network, or WSN, right? So this is the cluster head, and these are different sensor networks which are gathering information from the environment. These sensor networks are related, connected with each other in a particular area. Similarly, the areas are multiplied over here, and they are connected with their individual base stations, which is sending the information back to the monitoring station. Now, these monitoring stations are the ones which are collecting the data, storing it with themselves, monitoring and manipulating the information, and then supplying the information back through these sensors to the farmers or to the concerned person, right? So this particular structure is talking about implementation of a wireless sensor network into a particular region to monitor the soil condition, to monitor the temperature, monitor the weather, and then what farming needs to be done, right? So this is one of the papers that they have worked about, and ensuring greenhouse WSN measurement. We have already designed this. I have shown you how different seasons can be used, and how the fuzzy controller can be automated, right? So if you see now, there is no manual control over here. Everything is automated. As soon as there is change in humidity and temperature, the electric roof and water sprinkler actuators work accordingly, right? So a lot of power has been saved in this kind of a scenario, right? We've already formulated the rules. You can talk about if humidity is dry, normal, wet, right? And the defuzzification method is specified over here, right? So you can change the rules and the outputs can be received. So I'll just show you the result part over here. I'm quickly moving through these things. Now, if you see over here, in different seasons, when this particular system was utilized and monitored, what you saw was the output of water sprinkler for on-off controller remained 82.15, right? But whereas in different seasons, the output changed. Similarly, electric roof. So there was almost a 50% reduction. Now you can see this, a 50%, almost more than 50%, right? So more than 50% reduction in power was there as far as the fuzzy system structure was concerned, right? So I hope everybody can very well understand this. So how important it will be to utilize these artificial intelligence techniques in building certain systems. So you can build many systems over this, right? You just need to understand the problem, understand what are the inputs and outputs for these systems, and then you can work with them. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
I hope everybody has followed this and there is no confusion as far as these systems are concerned. I hope everybody has followed this. So these are some of the references. Those somebody was asking about the references. I have put the references over here. The people who have worked with the different types of protocols in greenhouse structures. So you can see I have also one of the papers over here. Nevertheless, IEEE transaction papers are also there where people have developed some fuzzy system softwares to ensure that things line as far as the suitability of greenhouse structures is concerned. Right? So you can very well see this. I have already shared my slides with sir, so you can ask him. I am sharing my mail ID and my contact number also with everybody to make sure that if anybody has a problem or wants to talk to me, most welcome, right? And I'm open to the queries and the questions from your side. Kindly just do let me know if there are any questions.
Any queries related to today's session as well as yesterday's session? If you have any queries, you can go ahead and ask.
Yes, please.
These LabVIEW based works, can it be published in good journals?
Ma'am, I'll just show you. I still hope you're able to see my screen.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So this is my web page, and now you can see it over here. This particular paper, right? This paper, again, these are SCI journals, WPC, Wireless Personal Communication, right? This paper, right?
Okay.
So all these
Yes.
published in SCI journals, and it is
Okay.
having an impact factor of more than 1.6.
Yes. Yes. Okay, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Thank you.
So
Thank you, sir.
that is the beauty about this tool. You can implement different, you can use different toolkits to implement various problems together. Right? Anything else? Anything else, ma'am? So now I have switched on my webcam also, sir.
Yes.
Okay,
I
thank
was
you very
about
much.
to say that. Participants, can you please switch on your camera so that we can have a photo of this session and uh, keep it for record purpose. Okay.
Right, sir. So again, if there is any question that anybody wants to ask, you are still most welcome to ask that, and I'll be more than happy to answer the things. I hope that I was able to explain the concept to you, and in this small amount of time, I was able to inculcate that this particular software can be used very effectively. So kindly do let me know if there are any questions. I'll be more than happy to answer it. Otherwise, I'm done with today's talk. Thank you very much for listening to me. Thank you very much for attending the course. Thank you, sir, for inviting me over. Pleasure being with you.
Yes. Actually, while we started designing the schedule of this particular FDP, we wanted it to be very much interactive with means having most means what hands-on sessions. But
Right.
you have exactly done that, and I'm happy, and I also feel means the participants will also agree with me. Yesterday and today, both the sessions we enjoyed a lot, and having the hands-on sessions, and I think these will be very much useful to them, and they can implement these things that they have learned in their own work. So thank you, Dr. Nikhil, for putting forward your expertise and making this session successful. And I hope we'll be having collaborations in future as well in areas of mutual interest. So thank you once again on behalf of my Department of Production Engineering, VSSUT Odisha, and all the participants. I thank you once again.
I'm grateful to you. Thank you very much, sir. Wonderful to be with you, and I hope so that we continue this association. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Participants, you can sign out now, and please join for the next session at 3 o'clock, so that we can start it by 3 p.m. sharp, 3:15 p.m. sharp. So please join by 3 p.m. for the next session. Thank you all.